Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Hope you can hear me. And I hope you're looking forward to another night of Super League action. Evening, Ian. Evening, Steve. Mr. Edwards, Mr. Bridge, Ross, and Alex. Good crowd early on. We'll see if we can match up some of you. Just as a reminder to everyone, of course. I don't know why I'm telling you, you're already here. But if you are here, please just put your name quickly in the chat, just briefly. Even if you aren't saying anything at this particular time, then just so I know that you're here so we can get the matchups sorted. I think we're looking at perhaps a an Exiles against Stackington first game this evening. Looks as if I've not seen Neil around for a bit, but Alex is here, of course, so we could do that. Saying that it's a maybe a good start. It's the hope that kills you. True indeed. Often it is the hope that kills you, but you go into this one with a lot of hope, I guess, Steve. But yeah, plenty of tactical things and all other stuff to speak about over the course of the evening. Changes that people have made in hope, in desperation, in anticipation. We will see how it all turns out for you guys this evening. But if there are no objections, then we will definitely start the evening with Exiles against Stackington. And we shall start by having a look at the Exile side. Nesta is, of course, a big miss for them. They have got some other people back. Charlie Chaos is back. Amanatidis, of course, in that DMC role. Costanzo's back in goal, and Juarez is back at DC as well. Smooch is doing well. Collusion is dropped. Raul Casano, it's a familiar lineup in terms of the tactics, in terms of the players, just the Nesta dropping out, of course. Otherwise, it's Exiles as we've seen them earlier on the season. Slight fitness concern for Vieri. He's on 91, but probably he will do relatively well. And of course, with Vicente, with Casano, he's got plenty of options there. So a decent Exile side, who, as mentioned, had a great start to the season but have struggled. It's a no win in four for them as they go into this one against Staggington, who have started to find a bit of form themselves. Um, Exiles are ready. Stackington are ready too. Evening Scott. Looks like we can have and Sloth's LSK matchup next after this one. Let's see what Stackington have in the store for us. Big story in Sagi's drop. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say really. Last season's top scorer, not really been firing for Stackington, and yeah, he's been dropped. Defoe's doing well, and Jardel's coming in as well. Big miss for them is Rivaldo, as mentioned before, one of the few managers to get anything out of Rivaldo. Um, is has been Alex, so we will see how Finnan does in his place. He has preferred Duff earlier on the left hand side, but and he has got Pettas at his disposal as well. But I believe that Finnan was the choice, with Selakovic coming up from the reserves and dropping on that right hand side. So we will see how that goes with Exiles against Stackington as we kick off the first game of the evening and see how we go from here. Mailbag, of course, is another story for Stackington. And it's Joe Cole from an forward role opening the scoring for Stackington. That is a big surprise to see that backwards arrow as well, something that's not usually been spoken about as something positive. But Casano fires straight back at them, and it's Mike Duff adding the second, and there is Vieri. My goodness, it's the hope that kills you indeed after that goal from Cole. Alex would have thought plain sailing was coming his way, but the waves are crashing against the shore here with Casano, Duff, and Vieri, a deadly trio, um, bringing the lead to the Exiles at halftime 3-1. Four shots on target, all of them in. Staggington, just the one. Oh, sorry, three of the four went in, and Staggington with one on one. If we start by having a look at the Stackington side, Shea Gibbons on a five, Galka's on a five, Melbeck's on a five. Not sure where that all came from. It looked so promising the first 6 minutes, but as Alex mentioned, the hope, indeed, it's the hope. We will see if the manager wants to do anything here at halftime, or if he is going to roll Duff Vasilikovic, presumably swap them around as well. Let's have a look here at Exiles. It was Raul and C. Roberto who had the assists Beery, Duff, and Casal with the goals as we saw. Uh, what do we do here? We do Duff for Silikovic, and then we swap these two around. And Gustav. Let's see if that creates a bit more for Stackington in the second half, or if Exiles are going to tighten the grip. 5 minutes into the second half, not a lot has happened, but there is Stackington coming forward. Cole inside the box, but Mike Duff wins it. Here's a free kick. Oh, and Finnan picks up a knock. What will the manager do now? Presumably pull Cole back to a wing position and put Inzaghi on. That would be my suggestion, but we will see what Alex does at this particular point in time. Cole to right midfield. Presumably for Inzaghi. Oh, cancel that. Where did he go? The injured Finnan. And there's Inzaghi. And swap these around. Arrow off potentially, or arrow on. No arrow. Excellent. We run till 60. Any other changes can be made then, of course. Inzaghi coming on. Let's see what he can do. Not a lot. Shea Gibbons down on 4 now. Right, not sure how that happened. How he how he got dropped to a 4 there. Nothing really happened from Exiles in that first bit. Galka's on a 5, Melberg's on a 5, Shadell's on a 6. Steve Finnan was probably the best player on the park, and he got an 8 before he got injured. Inzaghi's come on and done okay. Question is if Sackington will do anything else, longer arrows or anything like that potentially for them. Move the DMCs to midfield. There are many things that could be done. I'm not sure what of it will work, if any of it, but anything's worth a try at this point, I guess. Exiles, meanwhile, I doubt there will be any issues for Neil here with the lineup that he's got and how they've been performing. Be very pleased with that, probably. See what Alex is planning here. Anything interesting or long arrows for Voigt and 2 door, please. Long arrows for Cole and Duff 2. So cavalry charges forward. Let's see how that goes. I guess no substitution as there's only big Marvin Andrews on the bench. Not sure what he can bring to the table at this point, but yeah, let's see. Looks a decent enough proposition from Stackington, and yeah, last half hour coming up. It's kind of solid from Stackington. It looks as if it was really just those 20 minutes in the first half, or 10 minutes in the first half, really, where it all kind of went wrong and nothing really happened towards the end of the game. Exiles held firm, didn't do a lot. Stackington had one more shot on target. Players upped their game a little bit. Cole Defoe. I mean, the front three worked well. Shame that the at the back it wasn't sort of reciprocated, and those guys didn't really live up to expectations. Shea Given unexpectedly down on a 5 as well. He's been by far the best keeper in the league so far. So manager won't be too impressed with that. Apologies for that slight interruption. Back and normal service has been resumed. You've been staring at the screen there for a second. Say Roberto picking up the Man of the Match award. That's all I really wanted to say there before the interruption. So, yeah, commiserations, Stackington. I should have stuck with Marvin Andrews. Potentially, yes. Potentially, yes, but hindsight's always 2020. Yeah, shame for Stackington. Good effort by the Exiles there to pick up the win even without Nesta. Juarez came in. He's on a six. Probably won't see him again. Um, Game suggests if Campbell's here for a change, I'm happy to get us out of the way. Indeed, he is. He's been a regular recently, as I'm sure you've noticed, but appreciate the dig. Always good. I promise that we will go LSK and what are the other ones? Sloths next. So we will do that, and then we'll get Haggis against Foss Road up after this one. Los Santos, couple of changes. Shax comes in, Brose comes in for Francis Jeffers and swaps with Carla Shax, who then moves to the top to the SC role. It's been decent for Los Santos. I mean, not sure if they've had some unlucky results there. They obviously had that 2-4 against the Stackington. Then they had a draw. Malvern was a tough one. The Vikings one was tough as well. Up and down in the beginning of the season, they've actually done pretty well. They are sitting in seventh, though. I think the manager would have hoped for a little bit more, but we will see. They have a relatively tough game coming up now with Sloths and their new interesting formation, which we will look at in a little bit more detail now. Just the two changes for them. I believe Doni coming in on the left hand side, Fiore centrally, Tonetto drops out completely, Giovanni is on the bench, and Sebastian Kehl comes in at DC, and Alan Smith at potentially a SC if he gets subbed on. But Elbo's been doing really well, 9-5-2. That's a really good return actually for a striker in the Super League. Alf will be very pleased with that. Amoroso as well has not been bad. 11-4-4, that's looking decent as well. And Brooking, who I always think of as a Sloths player, 11-3-2, definitely not the worst from that front three. Seen much worse in other areas and at Sloths previously. So manager's got to take some comfort in that. They're in ninth, not the best of course, but on 14 points, it's definitely not impossible to make a push for the playoffs. So good luck to both managers, Scott and to Alf, as we kick off Sloths against Los Santos. Early action from Sloths. They're trying to create something and take the early advantage against Los Santos, but Andre in goal is doing a decent job. There was a penalty appeal turned down there, and Dyer will be kicking himself for missing a big opportunity. Good chances for both sides, it would seem. Just about who's going to break it, this deadlock, and I keep thinking it's going to be Los Santos, but then it looks like Sloths are coming forward. But there is Carlos Shax back in that striker's role. He opens the scoring. Lisa Rasu was involved as well. He's been excellent for Los Santos, of course. Sloths had 5 shots, Los Santos 7 in an entertaining first half, but it's Los Santos who's managed to squeeze in front thanks to an assist, as mentioned. Lisa Rasu was there, as is Scott, unsurprisingly. Los Santos is a top striker away from being a good side. What do you call Carlos Shax? He's got 7 and 13 now. I mean, he's the generational talent. Meanwhile, over at Sloth has actually been sort of decent, good defensively. No fitness issues, by the way. We'll have a look on this screen, so it's a little bit clearer. Yeah, overall, not a bad performance from Sloth in that first half. Just a little bit unlucky that none of the shots were on target. How many players have scored more than Jacks this season? Probably like 3 or 4, maybe at the most. Alf goes as is. We will have a look at the end and we can see both managers going as is until 60. So we will roll with that. 50 minutes coming up. Not a lot happening so far, but there comes Tony. Had his shirt pulled, yellow card for someone on the Los Santos side. Henchos wins a header on 55 minutes now, and Sloth's coming forward again. License, who with that sideways arrow doing things, trying to create something for the home side, but that's going to be pretty much it. So no shots on target in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Let's have a look at Los Santos. Esposito, so the young, whatever he is, Sola, not really finding his feet in this one, not doing brilliantly. Milevski, who had a great game last time out, I think, is on a six, which is surprising as well. Andrea Pirlo, Francis Jefferson, Leon Pure on the bench. I'm not sure if Scott would want to see any of those three in action. Obviously, main sort of point would be Leon Pure. Pirlo for Esposito. Okay, he's going to go with this one. That's also fair. Sola Jr. There we go. And that's it from the away side. Meanwhile, Sloths, Valgaeren doing very well on nine. Amoroso, Elba struggling on sixes though. Mendieta as well. Had a good game last time out, but struggling. And now he's on a six. They have got Giovanni and Alan Smith on the bench. So, of course, there are options there. We'll see if Alf wants to do anything in terms of condition. Everyone is doing pretty good. 85, the lowest. Yeah, Lizarazu is a big. I mean, Lizarazu is a big player in the Super League. I think. I always thought of him as a regular starter, and Cafu as well. You can always kind of count on them, kind of Zanetti style, aren't they as well? Some genuinely big names that genuinely also do well. We kind of tend to forget it because we're getting older, and it was a long time ago. But Lizarazu was a beast back in the day. Bayern, he played at, I'm sure. Good Bostock Stanley, yeah, good old Bostock Stanley. Was it Stanley? I believe so. Giovanni for Fiore. Oh, that's wrong. And there we go. And Mendieta Central. That's a solid swap. I think that's a solid swap. Just waiting to see if we're going to see Alan Smith in action or if that's going to be it from Mr. Bridge. Smith Famoroso, yeah, I thought that might be the case. Where is he? And that's it. Thanks very much, Alf. Good changes, interesting changes. Definitely going for the equalizer here, potentially the win, um, with some very well thought out changes. I think. Just slow down the commentary speed a little bit because they have struggled to create any more chances, unfortunately, despite my talking them up. But 5 minutes left to play now of regular time. It's a Dyer coming forward for Los Santos. He loses the ball. 2 minutes of added time. That's not a lot. And Sloss don't look like they're going to find a way to even get a shot off. It finishes with just a one shot on target for Sloths. Los Santos kind of on cruise control in the second half. 17 throw-ins to the Sloths, six, whatever that means, and didn't win any headers. But impressive W away win for Los Santos, as mentioned by Mr. Campbell there. Indeed, we have Lisa Rasu, not man of the match. I thought he might have been, but maybe it will go to Val Gowan then down at the other side. No, it's Igor Biscan. You see, well, he won a lot of headers, I guess, so that's decent. Balgarin, though, only on an eight, but look at those. Okay, passing not great, but very, very solid in terms of his tackling. License doing a super job as well. And yeah, I mean, not the worst defensively, absolutely not the worst defensively, just lacking a little bit of creativity and killer punch. But yeah, solid. Not miles away, definitely, not miles away. But yeah, back to the drawing board. Good tactic, though. I like it. Bin three at the back. So hard. Maybe take one of them out and then stick it up front. I don't know. I'll leave you to work it out, Alf. Commiserations. Um, LSK miles ahead of what Scott inherited. He's done well, hasn't he? He's done well, Scotty. Indeed, indeed. Um, what did we say? We said Haggis against Foss Road, didn't we? Foss Road against the Haggis. Let's have a quick look here. Um, not a lot of changes. We have Rogerio in goal because both Nick Matulin and Peruzzi, who's temporarily dropped down to the reserves, are injured. And we have to wait with seeing Comdot in in a starting role, unfortunately. I know a lot of people were looking forward to that. Central midfielders back though. Elias, Roy Keane, and Stevie G. I wonder who will be first to pick up that yellow that'll suspend them for the next match. I don't think we'll have to wait long for that to happen. Totti and Kuhl experiment continues. Is that Big Nev? I have no idea. Someone else tell me if that's Big Nev. I don't know. Um, yeah, so let's see. Crespo and Trezeguet, they don't have more goals than Kalashaks. That's a fair point. Fair point that's worth making. But yeah, Foss Road Unicorns. I haven't seen Spots complaining, so I guess it's okay. Yakubu's on the bench. I don't think he changed anything else. They are up against the Haggis, um, who have a bit of a problem. Nicolas Anelka is out injured. Figo, of all people, takes his place. So that's going to be interesting. Um, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. He sticks with Cruz outright, who had a bit of a poor game, but then came back into it. He's still on 3 assists. Had a very good role game at AMC, but it's Casa still preferred at AMC for reasons the manager probably knows best himself. Not done a lot in that role, to be completely honest. But we will see if he sticks with this after this one. They are third, of course, Haggis, and that 1-1 draw with Sancti last time out and 2 defeats. They were looking well on form, but both them and Exiles were struggling a bit then recently. Exiles, of course, back to winning ways this evening, and let's see if the Haggis can do the same against what was a really informed Foss Road side until the last couple of games. Let's hope for no more injuries for Foss Road, and let's see how it goes in the first half. There's a couple of big chances for Hackers to open the evening here. 2 or 3 shots on target already in the first 5-10 minutes. And Foss Road now coming back there is Crespo trying to do something useful. Totti, I believe, picked up a yellow card in that carnage. We've reached the half-hour mark and still chances at both ends. Big names for Foss Road, though. Big names popping up all the time. You see them there. But Haggis doing relatively well. And there was Cruz coming forward. Figo was involved, but no goal. 6 shots for Foss Road, 3 for Haggis. Yeah, it's been pretty much the home side who's been in control. Smuts goes as is confirmed straight away. We'll have a quick look at the side, how it's shaping up. Kuhl's on a 6 and Totti has a yellow. No yellow cards for any of the DMCs yet, so he'll be relatively pleased with that. And Rogerio's not embarrassed himself either, so all good. Casas and Cannavaro, the only 2 on 6s. Everyone else is on 7 and an 8 for the keeper. Need to take the chances. Yeah, well, we will see who will be the first to take chances. Um, Haggis, of course, with both Guillermo and Tomadera on the bench. Plenty of attacking options there. Both managers are as is until 60, so let's see what happens in the next 5-10 minutes, or 15 rather. Ahmed was there. Oh, Argel and Totti in a collision, but nothing happens. Figo picks up an offside decision, not in his favor. Um, and Fossor down at the other end, creating chances. And here's Sambrota again. Celia's into Totti. Jeremy or something gets in the way. Sambrota to the head of Totti. Cruz gets it away. It's all Foss Road here in the start of the second half. If Haggis can weather this storm, and they might be in with a chance of sucker punching Foss Road a little bit later on. We've reached the hour mark, and 9 and 5 for Foss Road. Haggis holding firm though. They're only on 5 and 1. They need to start hitting the target, to be honest. Not sure how the keeper's only on an 8, but there we go. Cannavaro struggling a bit. He's on a 6. Everyone else is doing okay, but I'll be surprised if we don't see either Guillermo or Tomadera for the last 30 minutes for the Haggis. Foss Road, meanwhile, Argyle, Steven Gerrard are on 6s. Everyone else is doing a pretty solid job. Not sure what's up with Steven Gerrard. That's unusual for him to not really do anything at all, especially compared to the others. Even Dimble. Um, let's see. Smuts goes as is, so that's good. And the Haggis have said To Madeira for Eagle. Uh, and that's it. Thanks very much. Excellent. Well, half an hour coming up, half an hour of potentially more Foss Road pressure. or hack his comeback, at least in terms of control of the game, even though the scoreline is still nil-nil. We're going to have to slow this down a little bit, aren't we? Oh, it's Wayne Oldham in charge. He's been surprisingly generous, or lenient rather, this evening. Usually not afraid to throw around the cards. Totti comes forward, 4 minutes added on now. They're coming up just now. Three, two, one, and we are done. Nil-nil. Even Steve, no, you haven't. You are up against who? Sancte, and I believe Ross is here, so you could potentially be up next. Meanwhile, let's dissect this one. Nothing happened at all in the last half hour. So 17 offsides, that's also fun. So yeah, I'm not really sure where to pick up the storyline on this one. I guess both managers will be pleased with a clean sheet. And excellent news for Roy Keane. He didn't get a yellow card and he got man of the match. In Tenerife, just come back to the room to watch. Ah, Stian is never-ending trips to Tenerife. Yeah, probably both happy with the point there. Indeed, smarts indeed. Excellent. Well, um, in that case, let's get the Tenerife boy on. Montero's back at DMC and Tony comes in on the bench. That's the only change for Dudley as they take on Sancte, who also have a returning big name. It's Oliver Kahn coming back in. Kirkland moves to the bench. Other changes are mainly on the bench as well. I think Brouwers comes in for Van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy, who made the cameo last time out. Let's remind ourselves what happened to Root as we reach the half-hour mark here. Indeed, Sancti made a change. Saha left the pitch to be replaced by Van Nistelrooy. 3 minutes later, Nistelrooy's involvement in the game is ended. He had to go off injured. He didn't have a single touch. He did nothing. He just picked up an injury. So yeah, bad news. Bad news. Apart from that, it's been sort of okay for Sancti. They had that defeat to East Coast, which was kind of expected. But apart from that, it's been solid the last five games, or the last four, counting the East Coast game. They've got Dudley Hill now at home and Slothston at home. Sancti, they are 13th, but they could be making moves here. Stackerton have of course already lost this evening. Vikings Fulchester yet to play Sloss, also losing, so there's a gap to be closed there. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes as Sancti take on Dudley Hill. First half coming up. Nedved there with a shot. Oof, but it's Luis Saha who opens the scoring for the home side. Found himself back in the side. Oh, and they picked up a penalty, and there is Riquelme. And Van der Vaart gets sent off. It's all go here. Ross, I hope you're watching. You were here earlier. You have a 2-0 lead, but you also have a problem. 14 minutes in, two goals, one of them a penalty, and Rafael Van der Vaart has been sent off. So yeah, a bit of a hectic start. A bit of a hectic start we had here. And yeah, so we'll see what Ross says to this one. Steve, you've obviously got a chance to make changes yourself. Um, I'm not sure if there's a left-hand sided player in this lineup. No, not at all. So we will see who he fires out to the wing. If anyone could just keep it as is, or move Boy centrally and go mega narrow. Um, Ticket to ML, Santa Cruz to AMC. Let's see if I can do this without screwing things up. Santa Cruz to AMC and Saha up centralized. Hopefully that's okay. We'll see if Ross wants to make any other changes. Steve, over to you. If you want to do anything at the red card, then you are free to do so. He will take a draw. I can't guarantee that, but you are allowed to make a change or two if you want. Evening, Tito. Roll to 60. Oh, why not? Right, I will. Excellent. Let's see. Let's see. That was 14 minutes. Oh, it's getting it's getting better. 10 men Sancti make it 3-0. A good job you're in Tenerife to drown your potential sorrows by the pool, Steve. Sorry about this one. I had to come in just for this. Roberto Carlos, though. Could they come back beyond the cards though? Once fitness will start to tell in the second half. If Dudley can pull one back just before the halftime, that's going to be a very, very exciting second half, I think. But Oliver Kahn is doing his best to keep the opponents at bay, and Sancti is still creating chances somehow. Ooh, but there is Thierry Henry. Where is Steve? Where is Steve with his with his TT King TT incoming or whatever it is? Um, indeed, I knew it wasn't far away. Oof, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough in the second half for Sancte to hold on. Dudley are not gonna let this one go 9-8. Let's have a look at the stats here. Best 45 of the season. Best 45. He's conceded 8 shots on target and is somehow 3-1 up with a man sent off. Absolute joke. Indeed, indeed. Well, those are your sixes. Feel free to make any changes, but you could of course roll as well. And yeah, Hetman overwhelmed a little bit there early on. Oliver Kahn's already on a 9, having a very good game. Assist for Riquelme, assist for Christian Kivu, surprisingly. Santa Cruz and Luis Saha with the goals, as well as Riquelme, who's having a pretty solid game. Evening, Mr. Horse. Um, yeah, let's see if any of the managers wants to do anything. I mean, there's plenty of chances to do stuff, but might be tempted to stick as well and just see how it goes until 60. Sancte says happy till 60, or Ross says happy till 60. Steve said happy till 60, but then I think he said happy to half time. Um, Franca for this seems, oh my goodness, things are happening. Um, Franca for this AE, stick him to central AMC. Centralized Vogel, Arrow, and Franca. Excellent. Let's roll till 60. Dunhill going for it here. Having conceded 3 goals early on, they find themselves a man up and with plenty to do, but plenty of time to do it as well. So could be all about to change in terms of the result here, but they're going to have to start hurrying up, getting that second goal. We're at 60 minutes now, and let's see what's happening here. David Collins does stuff. Here comes Roberto Carlos. There's Fogel into the area, and there's David Collins, but a good save by Khan. Juliano obstructs someone. Let's have a look and see. 6-5. Sanctia definitely still alive. But Dudley Hill 10-9 now. Montero had a bad game somehow, not getting involved really. He's on a 5. Luca Tony's there on the bench waiting for his opportunity as well. Could be a big guy to throw in at the end here for the last half hour. Let's see if Steve wants to do anything. Done. Nothing since half time. Well, you never know. You never know. There's still hope. Sancta, meanwhile, Steve says he'll roll. Sancta, meanwhile, Ariel Ortega out on the wing is down on a 6, um, but still hanging in there. Um, Still hanging in there. Boya doing okay on the other flank. Browers, Care, Mexes. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to throw any of those boys on, but we'll see. We'll see what Ross will do. Essays as well. Excellent. Well, it's going to be exciting. Last 29 minutes. Dudley's going to have to get that goal early now. 15 minutes now left to play. Time just flies past here, and 5 minutes to play now, and still nothing. Still nothing, unfortunately, for Dudley. 4 minutes left to play. Santa Cruz was there. Hitman does stuff, saving the ball. I think it was. That was just tripped by Nedved. Nedved now picks up a yellow card. Dudley players look as if they've kind of conceded the defeat already, picking up yellows and not really. Oh, and there is. Oh, and there is the keeper got off for Dudley as well. It's all gone. Pete Tong. What will who is going to be sacrificed, or who's going to go in goal for the penalty? Looks as if it's going to be 4 for Sancte here. We'll see if Steve wants to commit to sacrificing someone. Franca for Abbiati. There we go. And Abbiati back in goal, of course. Um, and Bobby C in goal. Right. Sancte, Ross, you have a chance to pick your penalty taker. If you haven't selected one already, which you have got Riquelme as the penalty taker, so you don't get a chance to select your penalty taker. We're just gonna fire on with this one. Riquelme begins his run up and he makes it 4. And yeah, 10 against 10. Sancte against Dudley, that is 4-1. Um, excellent for Sancte. Um, Masterclass by Oliver Kahn in the goal, and yeah, clinical finishing from the home side. I'm not sure who saw this one coming, but an even game, perhaps a Sancte win, but 4-1, that is very impressive. 4 shots on target for David Collins, did what he could. 30 and 19 passes, not doing that good though. All the praying is paying off. Praying? What? Riquelme is on a 9. Christian Kivu picks up the man of the match. Another 9 for Oliver Kahn. Solid performance. Ortega's on a 6. We'll let him off because he was on the wing. Van der Vaart the 6 and getting sent off. We'll see who plays on that left-hand side next time out. Brilliant from Sancte. Not so brilliant from Dudley. Excellent. Well, plenty of people in the house. Let me just cross off what we have already done. Sancti against Dudley was the one lost. We've got Burn against Badgers. Both managers definitely here. Fulchester, I'm not sure if Dan is here, but that's another option. And East Coast against Stanley, not seen Mike, but that will be the other option then. So we shall go Burn against the Badgers first. Um, and tactical changes at Burns, no diagonal arrows, so people will be pleased to see that. Aymar comes in for Rui Costa, I believe, is the only lineup change here. Oh, sorry, personnel change rather. And Pensa stays up front. And Pensa also not with more goals than Kalashaks this season, surprisingly. Barry Ferguson centrally. Not been great for Burn, to be honest. Not been great. They're down in 8th, unusual for them. They've got Badgers now, Vikings, then Stackington, Exiles. Bench is wrong. Did I not even look at the bench? Oh, I probably didn't. Um, Let me just correct that then. Well spotted. I was too busy changing your set piece takers, probably. Let's have a quick look at this one. Aha, Anderson, Bridges, Lundberg, and Owen. I shall do that. Anderson, Bridges, and who did we say? Lundberg and Owen. Freddy. There we go. All fixed, hopefully. Centre backs are wrong too. What have I done here? I saw Campbell is back as well. I mean, the benefits, the benefits of watching along are just endless. Imagine if I'd let this one go, that would have been terrible. Hippier and Campbell on the right as well. Let me check the rest while I'm at it. Hey, Hippier and Campbell, Cantala and Diavieri, Contra, Ferguson, Veron, Aymar and Pensa and Buffon. And I believe the bench is okay as well. I don't know if I changed it and didn't save it. I'm pretty sure I did. But anyway, thanks for pointing it out. And good we got it fixed. No, no to what? This should be right, yeah. Hopefully set pieces are sorted. Set pieces are definitely sorted. Um, let me just let me just keep them a secret for now. Yes, they are indeed. They are indeed. All is good on the set piece side, confirmed. So apologies for that. Um, I think I must have changed it and then not saved it and then gone back in and done the rest of it. So apologies for that and thanks for spotting it. That obviously makes my life a lot easier and gives me a little bit less stress. Um, Indeed, it's a new formation for your benefit, Tato. Uh, Only change for Booth Town is that Klumpert comes back in for Ujvalusi. At least I believe so. Um, uh, I think that was it. Stunning performance last time out, I think was the comment from the manager. And was it? Indeed, it was a 3-1 victory over Exiles. See if they can repeat that this evening against Northern Burn. Uh, Coventry's beats very fast and we kick off the first half, and hopefully things going to work out for Byrne now that they're actually the way he wanted them. There's Impenza opening the scoring. Doesn't take the Kalashak slander lightly, does he, Impenza? He doesn't at all. There's his second for the evening, and the Badgers are under a ton of pressure here. Mm, IMR doing bits. Had a conversation with Ian about how well IMR is developing. He has got an absolute ton of 20s in all of the right places. Could this be the return of Northern Burn and their playoff push? Ian is always saying, headers won 90%. Alf, where are you? This is going for the record books. This is going well, isn't it? Well, Tolto's having a 5, so that's not good, and everyone else is having a 6. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Um, that's a solid, as is indeed, as is. What can you do? Both managers happy enough to roll until 60. Let's see if Northern Burn continue to pile under pressure as they did in the first half. Controlled performance, um, just as we remember it from the Northern Burn. I won't say of old, but of not that long ago. Um, Saul Campbell trying to get in amongst it. Ferguson passes to Hippier, evades the challenge. Excellent sky sliding challenge by Scally. Scally had a very good game last time out, and Badgers have created one or two chances in the second half. It's not been as one sided as the first, but Northern Burn are now trying to get the third just on the hour mark. Because we did so well until the finish. 4-3 still for Northern Burn. Badgers with 3-2. And now everyone's still on a 6. Well, Toldo's moved up to 6 and Roy Mackay's on a 7. He does have a yellow card to his name, though. Salas and Souza, the attacking options on the bench. Buffon won more headers than Badgers that half. He probably did. Burn go as is. Barry Ferguson down on a 6. Both managers happy to roll. Assist from Imar and Sol Campbell. I should have mentioned that at half time. Well, let's see the last half hour. Badgers, of course, with Tsigalco. Never write them off. Never write off the Badgers. Um, and there's a Gadavis picking up a red, so you might want to write them off now. Scally back to DMC or roll, Mr. Tato? Ian is going to go as is. I can guarantee it. Leave it, please. Manager's seen enough. What's this one over with? Mr. Edwards, anything from you at this point? As is excellent. Well, let's roll it until the end. See if Northern can take advantage of the open space at DMC. They've got 14 minutes left to do it. Hipia advances the ball, but nothing happening. Looks as if both teams are kind of sitting back. Or are they? Here there comes Contra trying to find Impensa. He's on a hat trick. But it's obviously going to have to get the ball into him and actually get a shot on target. 3 minutes added on now. Impensa goes past time. There's Impensa. Will it be the hat trick? Goes past Giggs as well. And indeed, I think he dribble past half of the Badgers squad there. And a wonderful goal for Northern Burn. That's more like it. Let's have a quick look at that last one there. What was it? Past Clubber, past Giggs, left for the strike. Excellent finish. Yeah, icing on the cake for Impensa, his 10th of the season. And yeah, that's not that's not gone well for Badgers. That one has it really. A bunch of 5s and some 6s. Yeah, Northern Burn in this kind of form, in this kind of mood, difficult to deal with. Hard lines, indeed. Hard lines. Congratulations, Ian. Commiserations, Mr. Tato. You live to fight another day, presumably. Battered and bruised, but not broken, and all that. Let's see what else we've got left this evening. We have got Fulchester against the Viking. Steve has been here since early doors, so we'll get them on first. Paul is here as well, I think. Only one change for Fulchester. It's Hussein who comes back in for Viduka. Viduka with his 2 goals in 2, but a couple of 6s. Manager's seen enough. That's him dumped. Yeah, Fulchester, they're in 10th. The squad unhappy. Things have not been going super well. With a win here, they are not far behind Badgers. So yeah, Up and down season for Fulchester, unluckiest manager in the league. Overall, I guess. But there's been a couple of unlucky events recently as well. Dudley and Foss Road not had the rub of the green, so to speak, either. But yeah, let's see how Fulchester goes this evening. They're up against the Vikings. Vikings, hopefully, I've managed to make the changes there. It certainly looks like it. Um, Shit or bust. Three men up front, Hersey behind them. There's Liberani and Van Bommel in their sort of usual central positions. Just move forward a bit. Arkan Emerton with long arrows, and the manager has high hopes of eventually scoring some goals. But it has been a bit of a problem for Vikings with only 12. Just Sancte, who now had four this evening. So really only Stanley, who has fewer goals than them this season. Manager won't be pleased with that, with the firepower at his disposal. Shevchenko and Kluivert. So this is how we go, Colchester. Uh, not sure I had Amanda on the bench. Pretty sure you did. Pretty sure I also questioned myself why you have a bench. But you do. You have Irigoichia, Sorochinsky, Volodenkov, and Elmander. Certainly in the screenshot. Whether that was deliberate or not, I don't know, but he is there. Um, yeah, that's how that's how it looks. Good, 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 good. Vikings, you can change it. I mean, no rush. Change it if you like. But I'm cool with it, Amanda. No Simeone. No, 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 no. We don't need him. Solochinsky can cover that one, and then Bolodenko on the wide, and then Amanda can cover all of the forward roles. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I would have picked Del Vecchio, but that's just me. He hasn't been doing well, Del Vecchio, to be honest, after his big move. Terry was instead of Yepes. Uh, yeah, you're right. My eyesight's not what it used to be, and they're swapped around, aren't they? Well spotted. The benefits of being in the chat when the when the chairman hasn't been paying attention is priceless. But indeed, there is Terry. Just double checking the rest. But I think Terry Yepes looks the same on my screen. All should be fine. Yeah, we've got that one. Excellent. Liverani is Pony. Uh, right. Right, let's go. I think we're ready. Colchester against Vikings. Vikings in their lovely away kit. We've seen that a couple of times, I think. Good start for them. Had a couple of chances, or at least a chance. Unable to take advantage, though. Sabotage. Yeah, lots of drama here, lots of drama. No, lack of paying attention from my side. I dedicate. Oh, and there's Jagatta's opening the scoring. Did he not score last time out? Did Nielsen as well? My goodness, that's not gone well for Vikings' new attacking formation. Left some space there at DMC, which Fulchester are exploiting. Yeah, apologies for this. Dedicating my Thursday evening and not really a lot of other time to this. There's Shevchenko pulling one back for the Vikings. So a little bit of a rush job. I do have to apologize, but glad we caught it. Um, Entertaining first half, this one. 2-1 Vikings. When you look at the shots on target, that's probably a fairly sort of reasonable distribution of goals. Kiotis, very surprising that he's only on a 5. Who was it earlier? Shea Given, was it? Who also had a bad night. John Terry's in there. He's on a yellow with a 6. Not doing, not looking too well. Liberani's on a 6. Yeah, keepers are at it again, aren't they? Hess is on a 7. Kluivert as well, though, and Shevchenko, of course, with that goal. Not too bad for the Vikings. Shame they conceded early. 2 goals there. Hussein with the assist. If he's not scoring, that's okay. Danielson with the goal and Jogatas with the goal as well. No fitness concern for Fulchester, so we'll probably let that roll. Meanwhile, Haggis Vikings can contemplate potential substitutions. Will we see Elmander? Will we see Sorochinsky? Um, MAFS dinner party. Hmm. More importantly, why are you watching maps? I don't even know what it is. Does that make me old or sad or normal? I don't know. have to Google that while we makes me feel better about my life. That's a fair point. Right, we'll see if Steve wants to do anything here at halftime. Married at first sight. Aha. She's back. But are Married at First Sight Australia's Lauren and Clint still together? That's the big question. Can I see Ilmanda and Volodenkov stats? Yes, you can. Vitaly Volodenkov, he has a bunch of 20s scattered all over the shop. And some poor numbers as well in creativity, marking, jumping, finishing. But if you believe the intrinsic stuff, that should just make him even better in the other areas. So that's promising. Elmander as well. Run of the mill. Um, kind of. I guess he makes good decisions, and that's it. He's done well for Australia. To be fair, I've picked him a couple of times, and he scored, so that's good. So yeah, if you want to bring any of those guys on, I mean, love to see Sorochinsky on, to be honest, and Volodenkov. I'd love to see Volodenkov on, and Sorochinsky for that matter. Elmander on for Liverani. Swap with Hersey. Excellent. Volodenkov is amongst my favorites. I mean, is it Hodgie who rates him highly as well and always had him at Lettersford and Arts, I don't know, other teams as well? I think so. Um, Righty. Let's get cracking with the second half, and any more changes we will get at 60, presumably. Um, Amanda replaces him. Jagatas continues unopposed, and there is Beckham goes past John Terry. Uh, Beckham with a free kick misses the target. Fulchester looking pretty solid this evening, I'm not gonna lie. Um, Vikings are, of course, capable of scoring, but yeah, if Fulchester can avoid the insane bad luck they usually have and find a striker, then there's a top six side in there for sure. Kieran likes Orchinski, yeah, probably did. He liked those kind of little bit crazy wingers. Famously, also always placed Maria out there, as I recall. Vikings has not had an impact just yet. It's still on 4-3, um, but yeah, and Elmander's on 6 as well. Um, yeah, I knew that Scott Hodgson was a big Sochinski fan. Definitely was. Yeah, let's see if Vikings want to do anything. Of course, the wingbacks have done relatively well. I'd be tempted just to throw Voldenkov off on in instead of Claudio Lopez, for example, and just see what happens. Could be interesting. Cause a bit of havoc up there. Throw him in at MC with the long arrow or something crazy, just to see. Someone that. All right, we're going for it. Uh, Amanda move and Van Bommel centralized. So that's good. That's exciting. Full test of stats. I'm just checking the fitness and just putting the numbers up so Dan can have a look when he watches this back. See if he wants to give Stilian Petrov another run. He's on a 6. Lame, who's done pretty well so far, is on a 6 as well. That's going to be kind of disappointing. Anything else we can tempt you with, Steve? Oh, this is good. Carcross Telly. Wow. Lose the long arrows, Steve. Why? Why lose the long arrows? We're getting everyone forward. All good is the hope that kills you. Into the Valley Road, the 600. Here we go. And immediately 17 minutes went past with nothing at all happening. But the Vikings are still trying, but they are. Oh, it looked as if they'd been caught on the break. It was Beckham, but the goal was ruled out for offside, mainly because Vikings don't have any players back there, I guess. Um, Beckham takes a free kick again. There's a Dealson, but good defensive play by Vikings, who looks to have been undone by an early goal again. But there is Claudio Lopez with plenty of time. Frey makes the save though. Cloy with a header. Jagatas puts him in the way. Desperate defending by Fulchester, and it finishes 2-1 to the home side. Vikings somehow continue to get undone by early goals. If it's not one, then it's two. And yeah, where this would previously been an equalizer, then unfortunately for Shevchenko, it was just a consolation. Vikings pick up 0 points. Fulchester pick up all three. Decent enough performances though. Overall, maybe lacking a little bit creatively, but a good effort. Manager definitely tried what he could, and it's a tough place to go, Fulchester. And as mentioned, if Dan avoids the bad luck. This side is Michelini is superb at DMC, no doubt about it. Danielson is a little bit like Rivaldo. Dan has had a tune out of him. Ayala, who he didn't start, came in and is averaging 8. Frey has not thrown a complete wobble so far this season. It's not a bad side. It's definitely not a bad side. Jagatos, for those who remember him in the Panathinaikos side, is insanely good as well. I mean, it's definitely not a place that you come expecting to pick up points and Fulchester move closer to the playoffs. Um, Meanwhile, East Coast against Stanley, last game of the evening. Let's pause for a minute and talk about Dimple and what he's doing at East Coast. I haven't watched all the season of the Super League. I'll be completely honest with you. I only hosted a couple, but I haven't seen anything like this, like remotely like this. I think someone had a run of 11 unbeaten games. Maybe Hodgie or someone can remind me, but 12, 11, and 1. I don't recall that. I mean, he's going to have probably enough points to make it to the playoffs by the halfway point of the season. I'm not really sure what else I can really say about this East Coast side. I mean, if you want to defend your title, that's the way to go about it. So big up the East Coast, big up the Dimple. He's somehow still struggling to find a third good DMC. So Ambrosini gets a run. That's the only change for East Coast as they take on Stanley. And yeah, that's it for the story around that. Semak comes in for Nonato. That's the story for Red Rose Stanley. Uh, Stops and starts and ups and downs and bumps in the road. Um, Difficult to see where Red Rose is gonna get points from today, but Mike continues to do stuff, continues to tinker, continues to make changes here and there, and we'll see what comes out of it towards the end of the season for Red Rose. He's going to stumble upon something that works, and Red Rose are going to pick up a bunch of points, and all's going to be fine in the Stanley Cup. But tonight, maybe this is what you would call a banker, I guess, on your betting slip. But let's see if East Coast can do it against, on paper, the worst side of the league. Um, Even 5p, good of you to join us. Just as back opens the scoring for Stanley, the bottom side against probably the strongest side in Super League history have taken the lead. So good job I picked them up before the game, eh? And there was Lilian Thuram getting sent off as well. So uh, time time for the manager to earn his money. One at the back, presumably, or perhaps Ambrosini off. One at the back. Excellent. We shall see. Um, it was written, wasn't it? Let's see. Let's see how we get through to halftime here. Stanley are not going to go down without a fight, that's for sure. Bartes 5 incoming, yeah. Rustico doesn't need any help. East Coast have had 7 shots, 3 on target. Stanley 3 and 3. Stanley are leading. Uh, yeah. I'm not sure where that came from, but good luck to them in the second half. Keeping it exciting. And 3 points for Stanley here would be a big story. Fabian Barthez back up on a 7, Shukovic on a 6, so is Constantino. It's been difficult for East Coast to break down the Stanley side. Of course, not getting any easier when you're down to 10 men, but we'll see if the manager wants to do anything at the halfway point or if he is happy to roll. probably considering whether to just write this one off or whether to really go for it. No change yet. Let's see. Any points against East Coast is a huge result. It's only Road who's taken points from them so far. Emerson probably should have scored there. Rustico comes forward and Brusini comes forward. Excellent tackle by back, and it goes down the other end. And Stanley are still creating chances. Georgic, who has been dangerous for them this season, is doing very well this evening, I think, as well. I see his name popping up a lot, getting involved. East Coast struggling to create chances, or are they? Here comes Robin. Inch perfect tackle though. Robin tries again. Kovac smashes him low, hits the side netting, and Westerveld gets it up to Ronaldo, who has a long range effort. 9-3 now for East Coast. They need to start getting those shots on target if they're going to have any hopes of converting them. Gary Neville is on a 9, Phil Neville on a 6, Gianni is on a 6 as well. The rest are on 7 and 8. No fitness issues, although just on the borderline with Hassan Salihamidzic, but we will keep it as is. He has got DJ Agat on the bench to come on potentially. East Coast, meanwhile, Ian Robbins on a 9. He's trying to do his best putting the ball in the box, but people just aren't finishing. Let's see who is actually the main culprits. Oh, it's a little bit of everyone actually in terms of missing chances. He has got Torres on the bench, could potentially throw him up front. Castroman is there as well. Eric Addo could come on, but what is he realistically going to do at this point? We will see if Mike can pull this one off. Spectacular. Castroman for Simkoviak, and that is it. Castroman comes on that right hand side. See if he can do any better. Commentary speed, we will keep it on very fast as history dictates, and we'll slow it down towards the end. I think this one has slipped away. Trying to do a Campbell there, throwing in the towel early. Team to prove him wrong. Robin and everyone has been super busy. 20 minutes to go yet. There's a bunch of chances being created here. I'm going to slow this one down just because it's interesting and funny to watch. And then, of course, nothing happens after that. Nicky Butt plays the ball forward. There comes Iron Robin again. Could Robin be on course for a 10 on a losing side? It's possible, but he's probably going to have to get in one or two more crosses here towards the end. And Brasini plays it long. Phil Neville up to Ronaldo, and there's back, but it's a brilliant save by Bartes. Stanley hoping to just seal the deal here before they get hit by a last-minute sucker punch by East Coast. Saved in style by Westerveld. It's got to be it, surely. Stanley comes forward. Looks as if it could be the last game or the last chance of the evening. There's Rossini. Denied space to finish, but it finishes with an away win. 11 shots, 5 on target. Stanley with 7 and 4. Commiserations, Dimple. Congratulations, Mike, with that excellent result. Commentators curse. Not sure anyone saw this one coming, and all that good stuff. Gary Neville dropped to 7, still got an assist though. Santa Westerveld with no corners. No, indeed, not a single corner was had. But 31 free kicks from 20 offsides. That's unusual. Coupon buster, indeed. Nicky Butt doing all the work in central midfield. Worst team in the league, winning with 5 view watches. The things you love to see. Yeah, indeed. Ambrosini, man of the match. So even if you didn't find 3 points, you have potentially found your third DMC. If that's any kind of commiseration. We'll have to find a new DC, of course, for the next match with Turan being suspended. So indeed, excitement right at the end of the evening. Let's have a look at the results. So only 33 points at the halfway point of the season for East Coast. They lose to Stanley. Exiles open the evening with a big win against Stackington. Fossroad and Hag is a hard-fought draw. 0-0. Fulchester took on the Vikings and won. Northern Burn reaping up towards the playoffs, overtaking Badgers. They are moving up to 7th. Badgers are now in 8th. Sancti winning 4-1 at Dudley, who are down until 6, and Los Santos are up to 5th with that win over Sloths. Let's have a look at how the table looks. East Coast on 33, they're still 9 points clear. That's probably okay for them. Fossil on 24, and then it's really tight behind there 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 20, 19, all the way down to 16. Slots on 14, only 6 points behind Dudley. That is not impossible. The same goal for Sancte, Viking, Staggington, and Stanley really need to get a move on now and start picking up some points. If that's going to go well for them. Stanley on 9 now, just creeping up to the Stackington and Viking sides here. 2 wins for those sides down at the bottom. 11 in contrast for East Coast. Looking at the fixtures, next time out. It's a tough one for East Coast. They face Haggis. Foss Road take on Dudley, another tough one for Dudley, who will be without Headman, of course. Los Santos against Fulchester, another clash there of informed sides. Sancte, who are really informed, take on Sloth, something for Alf to consider there. Staggington against Badgers, Stanley and Exiles, and Vikings host Northern Burn. Can I see my reserves in the next patch? I don't think you have any reserve players. Are you not like Haggis? You just got like three crappy names and a bunch of regions. I'm not sure, but yes, of course you can. Of course you can. Um, let's settle the score on goals. Who has more goals than Carla Shacks? It's only Vieri and Impensa who both have 10. Then Thierry Henry has the same and Crespo has 6. Who has all the assists is I and Robin with 6. It's Roberto Carlos and Baron with 5 each. Who is doing well in terms of average rating? We saw that briefly already. It's Vicente Lisa Rasu, it's Shea Given, it's Roy Keane who are top of the table. Bunch of players over 8 here as well. East Coast losing that game. Typically, we face them as they get to bounce back. We aim to entertain. I remember when Rocks wanted to be the most exciting and entertaining side in the league, and then nothing really happened. But now there's lots of goals in his game, so well done Neil for turning that one around. Pablo Aymar with 5 dribbles per game. Ryan Giggs as well. Those are some of the stats. What else can we have a look at? Team stats. The form is still in Cosmos's favor, but look at Los Santos and Sancte creeping up there. Red Rose Stanley as well. Top and Fulchester. Some of the sides that opened the season really well. Exiles and Haggis down at the bottom. Foss Road as well. So yeah, that's how quickly things can turn around in the Super League. We shall leave it at that, guys. Packs will be out at some point in the not too distant future. Next show scheduled for next Thursday, presumably. If anything changes, you'll hear about it, but that's what it will be like, probably. So thank you very much for participating. Thank you very much for contributing to the fun and games. Apologies for the poor setup. Thanks for spotting it. And until next week, enjoy. Speak to you soon.